You are not tired. You are negotiated. Every morning, your mind opens a marketplace of excuses. 5 more minutes. 1 more scroll. Tomorrow will be better. You call it being realistic. You call it balance. But what you are really doing is bargaining with weakness. You trade discipline for dopamine and label the transaction self-care. This is why you fail. Not because you lack intelligence, not because you lack opportunity. You fail because your brain is allowed to negotiate. You wake up already compromised, your alarm rings, and your identity hesitates. That hesitation is the crack. Inside that crack lives comfort. Comfort speaks softly. It tells you to conserve energy, to avoid embarrassment, to stay invisible. Your nervous system, built for survival, does not care about your legacy. It cares about safety. And safety feels like staying the same. There is a system that ends this negotiation. It is not motivational. It does not inspire. It restructures. For centuries, in Japan, warriors, monks, and craftsmen followed laws that turned anxiety into fuel. They did not wait to feel ready. They obeyed structure until structure became identity. They practiced ancient Japanese systems that treated discipline as oxygen, not a choice. But there is a catch. This system will not comfort you. It will strip away your current self. It will demand that you confront the part of you that avoids effort. It will isolate you from people who prefer the negotiated version of you. It will expose how fragile your confidence really is. When you apply it, you will feel smaller before you feel stronger. Once you see how deeply you have been bargaining, and you cannot return to ignorance. Once you understand that your anxiety can be controlled, you can no longer blame the world for your chaos. The question is not whether you are capable. The question is whether you are willing to let your current identity die, so a disciplined one can be built. If you refuse to remain a negotiated version of yourself, subscribe now. Do not watch silently and return to the same habits tomorrow. Commit publicly. Like this video, so the algorithm carries this message to others who are still bargaining with weakness. In the comments, write this exact declaration. I end negotiation today. Then name the single habit you will control starting now. One action, one behavior. Make it specific. Make it measurable. Make it impossible to pretend later that you never said it. When you declare it publicly, or you remove escape routes, you create pressure, you step out of anonymity and into accountability. This is not about engagement, it is about commitment. You either remain invisible inside your excuses, or you step forward and let your decision be seen. Kenji Sato is 34 years old. He works as a mid-level IT technician in Osaka. Stable salary, predictable commute, a desk near the back of an open office where monitors glow late into the evening. His life is not tragic. It is ordinary. That is what makes the erosion invisible. He wakes at 6:30 every morning. The alarm vibrates against the wooden nightstand. His thumb slides across the screen before his eyes fully open. 10 minutes become 20. News, social feeds, fragments of other people's progress. By the time he sits up, he already feels behind. You know this feeling, and the quiet comparison, the subtle tightening in the chest. Kenji tells himself he is just tired. Work has been demanding. Projects stack. Clients complain. But what he calls stress is something else. It is unaddressed anxiety, dull and constant, pressing against his ribs. It shows in his posture. His shoulders curve forward. His steps grow smaller. At home, his wife notices before he does. "You look exhausted," she says one evening, placing dinner on the table. "I'm fine," he replies, eyes still on his phone. He is not fine. He is shrinking. At work, a younger employee named Takumi joins the department. Fresh degree, fast learner, confident posture. Within months, Takumi solves problems Kenji once handled. The supervisor praises him during meetings. Kenji claps with the others. His smile is controlled. Inside, something ancient activates. A modern behavioral science calls it status threat, a primitive survival alarm that ignites when your position feels unstable. Your brain interprets comparison as danger. Blood pressure rises, cortisol floods, focus narrows. Kenji feels it every time Takumi speaks. But instead of confronting the discomfort, he numbs it. Longer lunches, more scrolling during breaks, late night streaming after his wife falls asleep. The mind seeks relief. It avoids friction. You think distraction is harmless. It is not. It is silent corrosion. Weeks pass, then months. Kenji's gym membership card gathers dust in his wallet. He postpones medical checkups. He postpones difficult conversations. He postpones effort. The collapse is not dramatic. There is no shouting, no catastrophe, just subtle erosion. He breathes slightly heavier climbing stairs. He hesitates before volunteering ideas in meetings. He avoids mirrors in bright light. One afternoon, during a routine performance discussion, his supervisor folds his hands on the desk. "Your output has plateaued," the supervisor says calmly. "We need more initiative." Plateaued. The word lands like a verdict. Kenji nods. "I understand." He does not understand. He feels accused, exposed, reduced. That evening he sits on the train, staring at his reflection in the window. The city moves past him in blurred streaks of neon. He looks older than he expected to look at 34. You do not wake up one day destroyed. You fade. You compromise in small increments until the compromised version becomes normal. Kenji's wife touches his arm that night. "Are you happy?" she asks quietly. He does not answer immediately. He shrugs instead. "It's just work." But it is not just work. It is identity erosion. He goes to bed late again. The blue glow of the screen stains the ceiling. His heart beats slightly faster than it should. His mind whispers, "Tomorrow I will fix it." Tomorrow never arrives on its own. And then an email from HR appears in his inbox, announcing a mandatory corporate fitness assessment, a public evaluation of physical endurance. Kenji reads it twice. He feels something cold move through his stomach. The erosion has been private. The next test will not be. The corporate gym smells of rubber flooring and disinfectant. Fluorescent lights hum overhead. Employees gather in branded t-shirts, pretending enthusiasm. Laughter floats lightly, but it carries tension. This is not a game. It is measurement. Kenji stands near the back, stretching his arms with mechanical movements. He avoids eye contact. Takumi jokes confidently with two colleagues. The supervisor checks names against a clipboard. You think humiliation arrives with warning. It does not. It arrives when your preparation is thin. The first drill is simple endurance, timed push-ups and a short sprint cycle. Kenji kneels on the mat. His palms press against the cool surface. The whistle blows. He lowers his body once, twice. By the fifth repetition, his arms tremble. By the eighth, his breath fractures. Around him, others continue. Shoes squeak. Someone counts loudly past 15. Kenji's elbows buckle. His chest hits the mat. "Time," the instructor says flatly. He rolls onto his back, staring at the ceiling. The lights blur. His lungs burn as if oxygen itself is rejecting him. He hears a muffled chuckle from somewhere behind. Not cruel, just surprised. Surprised that he failed so quickly. The sprint is worse. His legs feel heavy before he begins. Halfway through the cycle, his thighs ignite. He slows. Others pass him. The supervisor watches without expression. When the whistle ends the round, Kenji grips his knees, bent forward, sweat dripping onto polished concrete. His body has exposed what his mind concealed. This is what happens when habit automation runs unchecked. Stanford research describes how repeated, easy choices carve neurological shortcuts. Your brain conserves energy by repeating what is familiar. Kenji has been choosing easy for years. The pathway is deep. The alternative feels foreign. He looks up and meets Takumi's eyes. There is no mockery, only a polite nod. That nod hurts more than laughter. After the drills, employees disperse. Some boast lightly, others shake out sore muscles. Kenji remains seated on the edge of the mat. His breathing steadies, but his chest feels hollow. You cannot hide from your own body. It is the most honest judge you possess. In the locker room, he avoids mirrors. He changes slowly, folding his shirt with deliberate care, as if precision might restore dignity. The supervisor's voice echoes in his memory. Plateaued. That evening, HR sends a follow-up email encouraging employees to join a subsidized gym program. Kenji stares at the screen in his apartment. His wife washes dishes in the kitchen. "You're quiet," she says. "Just tired." He considers ignoring the program, pretending the test never happened, returning to the safety of routine. That would be easier. Shame, however, is unstable. It either hardens into resentment or converts into heat. Kenji feels the heat. He returns to the corporate gym later that night when it is nearly empty. He stands near the weights, uncertain. His reflection in the mirror is thinner than he imagined, shoulders curved inward. A man in his 60s wipes down a bench nearby, broad shoulders despite age, calm movements. The man watches Kenji hesitate. "You failed today," the older man says without accusation. Kenji stiffens. "Yes." "Good." The word lands unexpectedly. The man introduces himself as Hayashi, a retired judo instructor who volunteers as a trainer. His gaze is steady, not sympathetic. "You did not fail because you are weak," Hayashi says. "You failed because you negotiate." Kenji's jaw tightens. "I was just out of practice." Hayashi shakes his head once. What's out of practice is a symptom. The disease is negotiation. Silence stretches between them. "There is an ancient Japanese system," Hayashi continues, voice low, controlled. "It does not ask how you feel. It decides who you are becoming, but it will not protect your pride." Kenji feels resistance rise. Defensive thoughts form quickly. He almost walks away. Instead, he remains, because something in the older man's certainty feels heavier than his excuses. And that is where the real trial begins. Hayashi does not offer motivation. He offers structure. "Kaizen," he says the next evening, standing beside the empty training mat. "A Japanese principle practiced in disciplined guilds since the 1200s. It is not improvement. It is reconstruction. You do not chase greatness. You reduce excuses." Kenji listens, arms folded. He expects intensity, or instead, he receives simplicity. "Wake 20 minutes earlier," Hayashi says. "No heroics, no dramatic vows. 20 minutes, every day, non-negotiable." "That's it?" Kenji asks. "For now." You want transformation to feel explosive. The Japanese method is microscopic. It does not excite the ego. It starves it. Day 1. The alarm rings at 6:10 instead of 6:30. Kenji's hand hovers over the phone. His mind begins bargaining immediately. "You slept late? Start tomorrow. 20 minutes won't matter." He sits up anyway. His room is cold. The air carries the quiet hum of the city before traffic begins. He stands, feeling foolish, as if he is pretending to be disciplined. He washes his face, brushes his teeth, and walks outside. No sprint, no dramatic music, just a slow walk around the block. Day 2. the resistance is louder. His body aches from light training the previous night. The bed feels magnetic. "You don't need this today," the mind whispers. He stands again. Day 3. The habit feels slightly less foreign, still fragile, still under threat. Kaizen is not about intensity. It is about continuity. Hayashi repeats this like law. "Small actions," he says, "performed daily, restructure identity. Your brain obeys repetition, not emotion." Neuroscience confirms what monks understood long ago. Neural pathways strengthen through consistent behavior. You become what you repeat. Kenji has repeated avoidance for years. Now he repeats effort. Week 2. Morning walks turn brisk. Cold air stings his lungs. He begins journaling for 10 minutes after returning home. 3 sentences each day. No poetry, just truth. "I am behind. I avoid discomfort. I want control." He reduces excuses at work. When a problem appears, he addresses it immediately instead of postponing. Small corrections, small victories. Anxiety increases. Comfort is dying. He feels it when coworkers invite him to late-night drinks, and he declines. He feels it when Takumi stays late, and Kenji chooses to train instead of scroll. He feels it when his wife notices he wakes before her. "You're different," she says one morning. "I'm waking earlier," he replies. "That's not what I mean." He does not explain. Kaizen does not allow explanation. It allows execution. By day 10, the novelty fades. The ego is bored. The changes are too small to impress anyone. No visible muscle growth. No dramatic praise. This is where most people quit. The ego wants applause. The Japanese principle demands invisibility. Kenji stands in the gym one evening, with sweat darkening his shirt, and asks Hayashi, "When does it feel easier?" Hayashi's eyes remain steady. "It does not. You become stronger." The distinction unsettles him. Kaizen is a war against the lazy self, not loud war, silent attrition. Each small action weakens negotiation. Each completed morning builds evidence that he can override comfort. By day 14, the routine feels less optional, still fragile, but rooted. His alarm rings, and his body moves before his mind completes its complaint. This is the first fracture in negotiation. But something new emerges. Without praise, without recognition, a different discomfort surfaces. The need to be seen. And that need will become the next enemy. "You will not speak about your progress," Hayashi says. They stand in the corner of the gym, evening light filtering through high windows, when the room smells of iron and effort. Kenji wipes sweat from his forehead, breathing controlled but strained. "No posting," Hayashi continues. "No updates, no announcements. Gaman." Kenji frowns. What is Gaman? The Japanese philosophy of enduring the unbearable without complaint, silent endurance. You train without applause, you suffer without witness. The rule feels unfair. The ego wants recognition as proof of growth. Hayashi removes that reward. Day 14. Kenji's muscles ache when he wakes. His shoulders protest. His legs feel heavy as he steps onto cold pavement for his morning walk. The city remains quiet. No one sees him. No one praises him. You crave acknowledgement. It validates effort. Without it, effort feels invisible. At work, Takumi shares a fitness milestone during lunch. Colleagues clap. Someone jokes about weekend marathons. Kenji listens silently, chewing rice slowly. He says nothing. That silence burns. Old peer groups sense change quickly. Behavioral studies show that when one member shifts identity, the group reacts defensively. Identity threat intensifies. Subtle jokes emerge. Invitations decrease. Familiar comfort resists replacement. Co-workers notice Kenji leaving on time to train. Big athlete now? One of them laughs. Kenji shrugs. Just routine. Routine? The word sounds small, almost dismissive. Inside, it is warfare. At home, his wife watches him measure food portions more carefully. You don't have to be extreme, she says softly. I'm not, he replies. He wants to explain. He wants her to understand the system forming beneath the surface. But Gaman demands restraint. He cannot convert discipline into performance. Evenings grow heavier. Without the relief of broadcasting effort, anxiety tightens. He questions whether the change matters. He imagines posting a progress photo. He imagines receiving validation. He resists. In the gym, Hayashi increases intensity slightly. Controlled drills, precise repetitions. You feel alone, Hayashi observes one night. Kenji nods once. Good. Loneliness removes dependency. The words are sharp. Gaman is not just physical endurance, it is emotional containment. You absorb discomfort without broadcasting it. You deny your ego the comfort of applause. Day 20. Kenji scrolls through social media after dinner. Photos of others at restaurants, gym selfies, promotions announced publicly. His thumb hovers over the screen. He could post something subtle, a hint of his progress. He locks the phone instead. The room feels quieter than before. His wife sleeps early. He sits in darkness, feeling the weight of invisibility. This pressure exposes something darker, his addiction to being seen as competent without earning it. Gaman removes the shortcut. By day 25, he recognizes the pattern. His desire for praise was another negotiation, another trade of effort for validation. He stands straighter at work without announcing why. He trains without announcing progress. He eats differently without explanation. Isolation sharpens him, but pressure, when unshared, accumulates. And on day 30, that pressure fractures the structure he has been building. Day 30 arrives without ceremony. No milestone music, no dramatic breakthrough, just a late email from a client marked urgent. A system failure. Data corrupted. But Kenji stays at the office past 10, eyes burning under fluorescent lights. He skips training. It's just tonight, he tells himself. You recognize that sentence. It is the gateway. He orders takeout on the way home. Greasy noodles, sugary drink. He eats quickly, barely tasting it. His wife watches from across the table. Long day? She asks. He nods. Just work. After she sleeps, he opens his phone. The old scroll feels familiar, comforting. Endless distraction. Minutes blur into hours. Midnight becomes 1 in the morning. The alarm rings at 6:10. He silences it. He wakes at 7:20 instead, heart racing. Shame arrives instantly, sharp and invasive. He sits on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor. You failed. See? This isn't you. You were pretending. The narrative of collapse screams louder than before. It is not just about one missed session. It is about identity. He feels as if the disciplined version of himself has been exposed as temporary. At work, fatigue drapes over him like a heavy coat. He avoids Hayashi's gaze that evening at the gym. He almost does not go, but he goes. He stands near the entrance, uncertain, as if waiting for accusation. You relapsed, Hayashi says calmly. Kenji's jaw tightens. Yes. Good. The word again. Kenji exhales sharply. How is that good? Hayashi gestures toward a cracked ceramic bowl resting on a nearby shelf. Gold lines run through the fractures. Kintsugi, he says. The Japanese secret of repairing broken pottery with gold. We do not discard what breaks. We reinforce it. Kenji stares at the bowl. You think discipline means never falling, Hayashi continues. It means returning. Imperfection is not reset. It is reinforcement. If you return stronger. Kenji feels resistance. I broke the routine. You exposed its weakness, Hayashi corrects. Now you strengthen it. Relapse is emotionally dangerous because it awakens your old identity. The brain remembers comfort pathways quickly. Habit loops, once reactivated, attempt to reclaim dominance. Research shows the first failure after progress often predicts abandonment, unless it is reframed. Kintsugi reframes. That night, Kenji does not attempt to compensate with extreme effort. He sets the alarm for 6:10 again. No speeches, no drama. Day 31. The alarm rings. His body protests. The shame from yesterday lingers. He stands anyway. The walk feels heavier than before. His muscles stiff. His mind quieter, though bruised. He journals one sentence. I returned. In the gym, he trains deliberately. No anger, no self-punishment, just repetition. The relapse did not erase him. It revealed the fragility of early discipline. It forced him to choose again. And this time, the choice feels less emotional, more structural. By day 40, the routine holds stronger than before. Not because he never fell, but because he learned that falling is not the end. Yet Kaizen and Gaman and Kintsugi have prepared him only for obedience. The next phase will demand something more severe. It will demand the breaking of his old identity entirely. Now you stop being a beginner, Hayashi says. They stand in the quiet gym before sunrise. The air is cool. Kenji's breath is steady. There is less hesitation in his movements now, less visible doubt. Shuhari, Hayashi continues, the Japanese method of mastery, 3 stages: obey, detach, or transcend. Kenji nods, listening carefully. You have obeyed, Hayashi says. You followed structure. Now you detach from needing structure to feel motivated. Then you transcend the version of you that needed saving. The words land heavily. Day 66. The alarm rings. Kenji stands before his mind, fully negotiates. The movement is automatic. Habit loops have begun to shift. Neuroscience describes this as identity-based automation, when behavior requires less conscious energy because repetition carved new neural pathways. Monks understood this centuries ago without laboratories. Repeat a ritual long enough, and it becomes who you are. Kenji no longer debates whether to train. He trains. At work, he volunteers for a complex system upgrade that others avoid. His voice is calmer in meetings. He speaks slowly, choosing words with precision. Yet he no longer scans the room for approval. You begin to notice something dangerous here. Discipline is no longer an act. It is baseline. Month 3. Anxiety still appears, but it feels different. Before, it was a fog. Now, it is a signal. It sharpens focus instead of paralyzing him. When a deadline approaches, his pulse quickens, but his posture remains upright. You changed, his wife says one evening as he clears dishes from the table. I'm practicing, he replies. What? He pauses. Not reacting. Shuhari demands detachment from the old emotional reflexes. He no longer feeds comparison when Takumi excels. He studies, learns, improves quietly. But transcendence requires severing something deeper. One night he opens his phone out of habit. His thumb pauses above social media. The urge feels faint but present. He locks the screen, not because he is resisting, because he no longer desires it. This is detachment. Hayashi watches him during training, arms folded. You are less angry now, Hayashi says. Kenji considers the statement. He nods. Anger fueled his early discipline. Shame powered his return. Now something quieter drives him. Structure without drama. Transcendence is not louder effort. It is the absence of negotiation. Yet Shuhari has one final demand. To transcend, he must confront the environment that once triggered his insecurity. He must walk back into the room where he was labeled plateaued. And this time, he cannot rely on shame. He must rely on something unshaken. The conference room looks the same. Same rectangular table. Same glass walls. Same city skyline beyond it. 1 year earlier, Kenji sat here, shrinking under the word plateaued. His shoulders curved inward. His voice softened. His pulse betrayed him. Today, he walks in upright. Fudoshin, the Japanese principle of the immovable heart, an unshaken mind that does not rise with praise or collapse under criticism, not emotional numbness, controlled stability. His supervisor sits at the head of the table, flipping through performance reports. Takumi is present as well, reviewing system metrics on a tablet. Kenji sits down slowly, his back straight, hands resting calmly on the table. You can measure growth not by applause, but by posture. The supervisor clears his throat. This year shows significant improvement. Kenji nods once. No grin, no defensive explanation. You led the infrastructure redesign. The recovery time metrics improved. Yes, Kenji replies, voice even. He does not rush his words. He does not fill silence. Silence is no longer threatening. A year ago, the room dictated his internal state. Today, his internal state dictates the room. That is Fudoshin. Research in stress psychology shows that perception of control reduces cortisol spikes. When you believe you can influence outcomes, your body remains regulated. Kenji's pulse remains steady, not because there is no pressure, but because he has trained himself to operate under it. The supervisor leans back. We're considering you for a leadership track. The old Kenji would have felt relief, validation. He would have scanned the room for approval. Now he simply says, understood. Takumi glances at him with quiet respect. Later, in the hallway, Takumi speaks. You've changed, he says. Kenji looks at him directly. I stopped waiting. That is all. Fudoshin does not announce itself. It shows in small actions. He maintains eye contact. He listens fully before responding. He no longer interrupts himself with doubt. At home, his wife notices the difference before he describes it. You seem steady, she says. He nods. I am. Physical strength has increased. His body responds during training with controlled power. Push-ups no longer tremble. Sprints no longer humiliate, but the real shift is invisible. Anxiety appears before meetings, but it sharpens him instead of shrinking him. Criticism arrives, but it does not define him. Praise comes, but it does not inflate him. 1 year ago, he negotiated with comfort. Now he negotiates with no one. Yet the transformation is not about promotion, not about fitness scores, not about respect from co-workers. The real transformation is legacy. Because when a man stops negotiating internally, he becomes something others feel in his presence. And that presence will define who he is beyond metrics, beyond titles, beyond fear, which leaves only one final truth to confront. Kenji Sato still wakes in the same apartment. The same train carries him to the same office. The city outside his window has not transformed into something mythic. Neon lights still flicker. Deadlines still arrive. Bills still exist. He is still ordinary, but he is no longer negotiated. The alarm rings at 6:10. His body moves before thought. There is no internal debate, no dramatic speech about discipline. The ritual is silent and precise. Shoes tied, door closed, cold air entering his lungs. The city still half asleep. Anxiety no longer feels like an enemy pressing against his ribs. It feels like controlled voltage, a signal that something meaningful is ahead. Where panic once lived, preparation now resides. Discipline is not an event for him anymore. It is default. It is not something he chooses every morning. It is what remains after choice has been removed. You think power is loud. It is not. Power is predictable behavior under pressure. Kaizen restructured his days through microscopic consistency. Gaman stripped away his addiction to praise. Kintsugi taught him that fracture strengthens structure when repaired deliberately. Shuhari dissolved the old emotional reflexes that once controlled him. Fudoshin anchored his mind in rooms that used to reduce him. These are not concepts he recites. They are operating code. When stress rises at work, he does not escape into distraction. He breathes, prioritizes, executes. When comparison attempts to ignite status threat, he observes it and returns to his task. The primitive alarms that once dominated him still exist, but they no longer dictate action. His wife notices it in small moments. He listens fully when she speaks. He does not drift into his phone mid-conversation. Presence has replaced avoidance. In the gym, Hayashi watches from a distance. No applause, no ceremony, only a slight nod when Kenji completes his final set. "You understand now," Hayashi says one evening. Kenji bows his head slightly. "Yes." "You were never weak," Hayashi continues. "You were undisciplined." The statement is not cruel. It is accurate. The world remains chaotic. New employees will arrive. Markets will shift. Health will fluctuate. Criticism will return in new forms. But negotiation will not. He does not chase motivation. But he does not seek identity from applause. He does not wait for the perfect emotional state. He acts. An ordinary man in an ordinary city, governed by ancient Japanese laws that turn anxiety into controlled power. The environment has not softened. He has hardened. And that is power. If you are ready to build a system instead of chasing motivation, subscribe now and enable notifications. Do not watch this transformation and return to negotiation tomorrow. In the comments, write your single smallest irreversible step. One action you will execute within the next 24 hours. Make it specific. Make it measurable. No speeches, no vague promises. This is not about intensity. It is about structure. When you declare a concrete action publicly, you remove ambiguity. You create pressure. Would you force alignment between your words and your behavior? Do not write a paragraph. Write one sentence that begins with, "Within 24 hours, I will." Then execute it. You either remain a spectator of disciplined lives, or you become the author of your own structure. Enable the bell so you do not drift back into comfort unnoticed. Declare. Act. End negotiation permanently.